Hello everyone. So I'm going to show you how to do a pear cam assembly from start to finish. So I'm going to go to create right here, document, and I'm going to call it pear cam demo. Okay. So here we are, we have all of this. The first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to make sure that my workspace unit is the millimeter. And then I'm going to, on the front right here, plane, I'm going to make a sketch right here. Okay, and I'm going to make a pear cam. So essentially, I'm going to make a circle like this. Let's make it into a, sorry about that, a construction circle. I'm going to make it be 30 millimeter in diameter. Okay. Right here in the middle of this, I'm going to make a little square, 5 by 5 square. You will see it's going to be eccentric in relation to the center. That simply means that it's not going to be exactly in the center. Okay, the center of that square would have to be in the center if I wanted to essentially have the axle perfectly centered on the cam. Okay, but here I don't. So now I'm drawing a line right here. It's also going to be a 45-degree angle line. I'm going to get rid of this one because I don't need it. But I'm going to make sure that the angle right here is exactly 135 degrees, so that this line is at 45 degrees. That's just going to be a construction line that I use as a, I need to escape dimensions for that to work, to be a construction line. Okay. And then I'm going to choose a point right here. And this point is going to be at a distance of exactly 20, there you go, from the center right here. And I'm going to use this to make essentially my cam. So I'm going to make another circle right here. I'm going to make it tangent to this one. This circle is also going to become a construction circle, and now I have pretty much everything I want for my cam. Okay, so I'm going to make a line right here between this and this. I'm going to make sure that this line right here is tangent to this, beautiful, and tangent to this, beautiful. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to mirror this line right here over there. And the reason for this is that I just want to make sure that this line that I have right here is found here as well. Okay, I'm going to go to mirror. I'm going to select this as a mirror line. I'm going to select right here, and automatically it's right here. Okay, so I'm escaping mirror. And now I'm going to remove a bunch of things. So I'm going to go to my trim tool. I'm going to trim this one, trim this, trim this, trim this, trim this, trim this, trim this. There you go. I'm done with my trimming. And so now this, I'm going to make it into a full line, this into a full line, this into a full line, and this into a full line. And then I'm going to finish my sketch right here, and I'm going to extrude this thing by just 5 millimeters. My extrusion, I'm doing it 5 millimeters because my the wood that I have to make the real part is 5 mm thick. Okay, so I'm going to make it right here. There you go. Check. There was a problem on this. I'm going to edit this. What is going on here? So the sketch is good. Okay, I'm going to delete this extrude. I'm going to do it again here. I don't know what happened exactly. This is going to be extruded 5 mm. Okay. Right. So this is my cam. Okay. Like it or not, it's my cam. I decided to make it like this. There you go. Now on the bottom right here where it says Parts Studio, I don't like it. So I'm going to right click, rename, and I'm going to call this per cam. There you go. Okay. Now I'm going to click on the plus right here, and this is going to allow me to create a new part. So I'm going to do this, Part Studio. Okay. And I'm going to make it again on the front plane. And that's going to be my axle. Okay. So remember that my axle was 5 mm by 5 mm, or the hole in the cam was 5 by 5. So I'm going to start by making that. So I'm making just a random dimension rectangle, and then I'm going to make it a 5 by 5 so that it fits exactly in that thing, right? And that's all I'm going to do really for that sketch. Okay, I'm going to extrude this thing, and let's say that my box is going to be 100 mm wide. Okay, so I'm going to make this here, let's say 120, so that I have a little bit extra everywhere. Okay. Now this is going to go through the box right here. So I'm going to have the box. So that means I'm going to have a handle right here. So right here I'm going to sketch. Okay. And the sketch that I'm going to make doesn't really matter what it's going to look like here. Let's make it, yeah, that's the center right here. Let's do a little something like this. Let's have another circle right here that is right there. Beautiful. The diameter of this, what is it? 13. Let's just make it 10. That's good enough. This one is going to be 5. Perfect. 5 is good. And I'm going to make a segment right here. Done. And this I'm going to make sure that it is tangent to this one and to this one. Okay. Okay. Now I'm going to do like I did before. I'm going to do a mirror image. So I'm going to do this, and this is going to become my mirror, and I'm going to mirror this thing right here. Okay. And then I'm just going to trim a bunch of things that I don't need. So I don't need this arc, I don't need this segment, I don't need this segment, this one, or this one right here. Okay. Okay. Right, so let me replace this by a 3-point arc since it did not like my thing. And there you go. All right, so we have this part right here. That's my sketch. I'm going to finish my sketch. I'm going to show you what it looks like. So it's right there. It's going to be a little handle right here. And I'm going to extrude this thing as well as the square. But I'm going to extrude it in the other direction. And I'm just going to do it by 5 mm right here. Okay. So let's see what it looks like. Okay, so that's a little handle. Maybe I can make a little circle right here. Let's do that. There you go. I'm going to extrude this little thing right here. Oh, perfect. 25 millimeter, why not? Okay, so this part right here, you know what, let me make it look, all right, I guess so. And this is going to be my axle slash crank, so let's call it, I don't know, let's just call it axle. There you go, done. So let's put those two together now. So I'm going to go to assembly. I'm going to go to insert right here. And you see I have my two parts right here. So I'm going to go this. There you go, beautiful. This. There you go, beautiful. So I have my two parts and then I'm going to put them together. So I'm going to put this one right here and this one right here. But obviously that's not going to work so well like this. So I'm going to put an offset on the z-axis, which is in blue, so it's in that direction right here. And the entire shaft was 120, if I recall, for my extrusion. So let's put it at 60 right here. And let's press enter and see what happened. So 60 went in the wrong direction. So I'm going to put a minus 60. See if it does what I want. Okay, that's pretty good. I can always adjust it later. I'm going to do that and we're good. Okay, so this here now works and it's not going to go anywhere. I mean, if I move one of them, you know, the other one will move with it. See, I grab it, moves together. Okay, so there you go. First, then we're going to make a box now. So I'm going to click on the plus on the bottom left right here. I just realized that you cannot see when I say bottom left because my picture is right in front of it. Okay, so right here on the bottom left where I have the plus, I'm going to click on plus. I'm going to go to create part studio and I'm going to rename it right away. I'm going to call it the box. Okay. Press enter. And I'm going to be making my box like this. All the dimensions, by the way, are under the default of millimeter. Okay, I'm back. Now in the bottom right here, you see the word box and we have the thing here. Okay, so the box, I want it to be a little bit open so that we can see, right? And so I'm going to make it out of 5 by 5, 5 millimeters by 5 millimeters material. And so let's make it as a plate on the bottom. And we're going to have it 100 millimeter in one dimension. So let's say that this here is going to be 100 millimeter. And this one, we're going to make it a little bit smaller. We don't need quite that much. Let's put it as 80 millimeters. Okay. And then we're going to have a little extrusion of this thing at 5 millimeters. There you go. Let's see what it looks like. Okay, very good. So that's going to be the bottom plate. Okay. So what do I want now? Well, I'm going to sketch on top of this. And I'm going to make lines like this. So I'm going to take this line like this line on the outside like this, like that. I'm going to make it parallel. I'm going to be making it parallel, parallel, parallel. And since in reality, when I build this, it's going to be made out of 5 millimeter by 5 millimeter material, I'm going to make sure that the thickness of my walls right here is going to be 5 millimeters exactly. Okay, so we have a 5 right here, we have a 5 everywhere. We have our sketch. And I'm going to extrude this now. Okay, so finish the sketch, extrusion, and I'm going to make it 80 millimeters tall. Why 80? I don't know, 80 should work with the size of my cam like this. Okay, so in reality, the orientation of the box is going to be like this. Okay, in reality, it's going to be somewhat like this. We're going to have the shaft going like this. We're going to have the cam going like this. So that means we need a top right here. Okay, we need a top, and we're going to have the guide on top of it. Okay, so I'm going to do another sketch right here, right on top of this. And that sketch is just going to be a rectangle like that, super simple, that I'm going to extrude by 5 millimeters, not 25. The material I'm going to use has a thickness of 5. Okay, and here we go. We have a nice little box right here. Now, we're not completely done because on top right here we need a follower. So I'm going to make a sketch right here on top, and right here in the middle, up, yep, here you go, middle, I'm going to make a 10 millimeter hole, because I decided that my follower was going to have a diameter of 10 millimeter. Okay, so I'm going to do this right here. I'm going to extrude, but this time I'm going to remove. So I'm going to remove this thing, and you see how it makes a hole right here? Check. Now, this is not enough of a guide. I want something a little bit more sturdy. So I'm going to make another sketch, and I'm going to make a little circle like this, again of radius 10, just like the previous one. And around it, I'm going to make another circle that I'm going to then extrude. In reality, I would probably use a little cylinder made out of metal and epoxy it in place or something like this. I don't know. Maybe I would just use a bottle cap, something like this. Okay. So we're going to do that, and then we're going to extrude this right here. And 25 millimeters looks like it's a little bit too much, so I'm just going to go 15. Okay, there you go. 15 millimeter, how does that look? Good. And right here, I'm going to have a little fillet at the base so that it looks nice. Okay, so let's see what we got now right here. Beautiful, not bad, not bad. Okay. Okay, so we have this. So now, right here, through the center, we're going to have just the hole for the cam. So center is right here. Oops, my apologies for that. Center, right here, very good. And okay, so it's approximately going to be like this. I'm going to make sure that the dimension right here is good. Yep, 45 is good. And from here to this one right here, it should be 40. Now it is centered right here. Now the diameter. So remember that the shaft is a square shaft that is 5 by 5, right? That means that the hole through which it needs to go, it's going to have, remember your 45, 45, 90 triangle, it's going to be 5 root 2 in diameter. And 5 root 2 is about 7.1. So I'm going to make the diameter right here be 7.1. Okay. I'm going to click on this, and then I'm going to extrude this circle, but it's going to be something that needs to be removed. Okay. And I want to see on the other side, right here. and I want to make sure that it goes all the way through. So right here, I'm going to put 250. Boom, it goes all the way through. Bang, I have my hole right here. Okay. So now that I have my box right here, it's pretty much ready to go. Okay. Yep, I'm looking at it. It's nice. I'm going to change the color and I'm going to make it some kind of a wood color. Let's have a nice rich brown like this. Whew, it's a little too much. That's orange right here. Okay, whatever. It looks like plywood maybe. All right, very good. So this is my box, and I also need a follower. So the follower, remember we said that the diameter right here was going to be 10, right? So we need another part. And again, we don't need much. I'm just going to make a circle. And it's going to be a diameter 10. And I'm going to extrude this thing. Let's make it, I don't know, it doesn't really matter. Let's make it 80 millimeters. Well. All right, now, the thing is that if it's flat like this, it's not going to be able to really follow the cam properly. I need to have a sphere right here, a half a sphere right here, or half a sphere right here. Okay? So the way I'm going to do that is actually quite neat. Okay? So this is the top. That means I'm going to sketch something on my top plane right here. And that something is going to involve a straight line right here and a little circle with a diameter of 10 so that it matches the rod that I just made. Okay? And what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to revolve this thing. Okay, so I'm going to use the revolve function right here. I'm going to revolve full. This is going to be my revolve axis right here. And the face that I'm going to revolve is going to be this. Okay, so let's see if it works. Let's go one direction. Let's go 180 degrees. And let's see what happens right here. When I do that, uh-oh, it didn't work. I'm going to delete that thing and I'm going to adjust my sketch. Okay. So this line right here needs to be longer. I cannot have it just small like that. Okay, so I'm going to resketch right here on my top plane, and I need to make this line right here. There you go. I was trying to take a shortcut and that came back and beat me where it should not have. Okay. Because right now I need only half a circle, so I'm going to remove this half of a circle. And now it should work with my revolve. So this is going to be revolved right here. The revolve axis is going to be this. Click on this, click on this. It's going to be a full rotation, and here you go. Now I'm good. Okay. So I'm going to change the color of this thing. I'm going to make it, all right, let's have a nice red like this. And this is my follower, so I'm going to rename it follower. Okay, done. Okay, so now we're going back to the assembly, and I'm going to insert the other parts. Okay, so I want to insert my box. So this is, the box is much bigger than the rest, right? And I'm going to insert a follower like this. All right. So now, let's see about those different things. I'm going to move my box like that. Then I'm going to move it a little bit like this. Okay. Now, this here, it's going to be a revolute inside that hole right here. So the revolute is over here. So I'm going to have revolute. This is going to be the center of my hole right here. Okay. And it's going to be the center of my cam right here. That's not bad. That's not bad. And then I'm going to offset it on the z-axis by, I don't know, let's try 50. Let's see if it's in the right direction. Okay, so 50 right here is almost lined up properly, but maybe a little too much. Let's try 45. You see 45 right here, it's a little bit too much in the other direction. So let's try 47.5. It looks very good to me right here. Okay? So I'm going to click right here. I'm going to look back at my isometry. Very nice. But you see right here, it looks like I missed a hole. Right? I missed a hole. That means my revolute, it's not very good. Right? So I'm just going to delete that revolute because it's not good and do it again. Okay? So, and it happens, you know, guys, it's not a big deal. I mean, do it like this. That's for the first thing. And the second one, it's going to be, I'm going to turn it a little bit like this to have a better angle. There you go. Now it's right there. You see how it is in the middle? Now we need an offset. Let's have an offset of what? Let's have 20 millimeters. Let's try. Wrong direction again. Minus 20. Too much. Minus 10 maybe. Okay, I have it at minus 10 right here. It's not too bad. Let's look right here. It looks that it's going through. Okay. And now let's check that it works correctly. I'm going to right click on my revolute right here, and I'm going to go to animate, and I'm going to do this here. Obviously I don't want this to happen, right? So I'm going to stop this. I'm going to right click on my box. First, get out of here. Right click on my box, and where it says fix right here, I'm going to click fix. And then I'm going to try that again. Animate, start. Okay, all right. So my cam is apparently moving properly. Okay, so I'm going to get out of here. And now I'm going to try to have a slider mate between this one right here and this one right here. You see how this is pointing upward? I'm going to click on this to flip the axis, and now it's pointing downwards. It's good right here. So I'm going to turn it such that the two are like this, and I want these two to touch one another like this, right? So I need to use the tangent mate. So tangent right here between this here and this here. So I have this. It's not bad at all. Okay, very good. And I'm going to check that it works by going to my revolute again, and I'm going to click on this. And is my slider going up and down? Oh yes, look at this baby right here. All right, I'm going to look at it from this side to make sure that everything works the way I intended. Beautiful. Okay, well, I think I'm done. I wanted to do an example for you guys from start to finish, and here it is. So quite happy with that. I hope that was helpful.